most definitely, to be honest. But that's off to a great start for them, and I think ESUBA, maybe this is just a little stepping stone that they need.
Well, you can always believe.
Yeah, they just need the knife to win, and maybe from that they can start out. You know, really, if they start on the CT side, it could be a bit beneficial to them, and it could really help them out. But, well, at the same time, you know, Fate, I think that they will just end up stronger, but we'll have to see. It can go all sorts of ways. But right now, let's just see how they get into it. You know, we've got Fate, they have that advantage, and I see them on the CT side, not yet, but even if they're going to be on the T side, you know, they can still show up. They can still really perform.
Well, I'm curious to see what it will bring to the table. ESUBA says they are ready. They say they are well prepared. They've read into their opponents for a long, long time. And, well, it's going to come down to this. It's going to be hard. It's going to be, of course, a very stressful match if you're not really accustomed to the, well, kind of viewership you're getting right here. It's going to be a struggle to at least keep your mind focused. Of course, it's going to be an interesting match for them to show how they can measure in a real game against Fate. Because, of course, scrims, they're a little bit different than the real stuff. It's time to get going. Fate against ESUBA in the first map of this best of 3. Who will be the best? The number 49 in the world? Or an unranked Czech team?
Who knows, right? Maybe this is this unranked, surprising, local hidden talent that could really show up, that could really prove it to us that they are going to be the best, that they are going to really show up today and, well, I'd almost say, well, kick some ESUBA or some Fate butt even.
Well, let's see what they will bring to the table. It's currently just a little bit of a waiting game. We see Fate actually on that T side right now, hoping to soon go for that aggressive push somewhere around possibly the B side. Levy is trying to attack but will fall back, but problem is he stayed a little bit too long. It's going to be the first frag coming in from Mar, and that means that we already see the, well, positive sides of Fate coming in. 2 players going for a hunt against a solo player that, well, a little bit over-aggressed, I dare to say.
Just a tad, and did end up getting punished for that. Now a bit of a slower play, and in the meantime, by the way, did see that message pop over on there. Apparently people from Czechia and Slovakia can generally understand each other. The more you know. Anyway, what we also know is that Ham here is, or Han even, is going right and really gets those 2 frags deserved. Leaves only 2 people alive on the ESUBA side. However, speaking of alive, he gets a nice frag there. Lovely little tap with the USB, but then kind of pushed back on the bomb site, going for the engagement, and it's Ma who gets the last 2 frags. Fate wins the first round, and who knows, one of many. Or perhaps ESUBA will throw it right back at them as we get into the second.
Indeed, it's Fate at least starting off well. Now, of course, buying up against their opponents. Forced by most likely to come in from ESUBA as well, as we do see Neo already trying to get some stuff going for him. A scout, most likely to come out, maybe 2 even. And of course some deagles with utility, or possibly a 5-7 if a player does before it. Cisse will come in from Blogis, and I'm curious if he actually wrote the blog for ESUBA on their website.
Wow. Imagine, right?
It would suit
it would be incredibly fitting. And maybe blocker, I don't know, make sure that the nasty people get blocked on the Fate side of things.
Well, meanwhile, we see some utility being expended by the side of Fate. They're setting up for a B take. It's going to be a little bit hard, however, as the alive, or leave.
I'll just go for alive, to be honest.
Just to be on the safe side of things. Standing by with the scout. It's going to be Nikki. Tagged up slightly, however. And we're still seeing a very slow approach. Fate not really trying to risk it, not really wanting to give away anything towards their opponents.
Well, you never really want to give your opponents anything, right? Bit of a patient little wait here. Oh, and oh dear, that's a slight technical issue.
Well, yes. That's a great upgrade for Patrick, now having the AK as well in his hands.
Boom.
They'll be going towards that B side. Push to soon come in, as we do see the leaf moving in with that scout, trying to get the shots in, but he can't hit him just yet. No real damage being dealt by Fate, however, as well. So now the utility will finally come in. Eventually there will be the kill on that scout player that stayed alive for way too long. And now it's a 4-on-4. Some damage being dealt by a player now in that connector area. But we still see that favorable position for that T-side. Fate is holding on, and all the players from ESUBA are coming from that back line. First off, of course, that Scout will try to go for a long-range fight, as we do see Blockers actually with a double frag. Great fadeaway on towards Patrick. Mark gets one in return. They'll try to go for the stick or maybe just a tap, but well, time is running out, so they'll have to at least contest soon, and they're not doing it. It's going to be Mar with one frag, the only player alive. Now has that USP, and there will be a stick on towards the bomb. We have enough as well. The player just sticking out of that smoke just a little bit. And that's a 2-0 for Fate. At least they lose all their weapons, so ESUBA has that going for him. They'll still have to go back towards that eco. And, well, this is quite unfortunate.
I wonder though, what if he had actually stuck that? What if he just stuck with it and he'd actually
from the get-go, I think he would have had it.
Yeah, and but I also got to admit though, if you look at the smoke here, unless it was just about to dissipate.
No, it was just a little bit crooked.
Yeah.
Those things happen.
Yeah, it's not.
You're hoping for it to be alright, but unfortunately it doesn't always happen to be. So do see Fate going relatively aggressive towards that B side, possibly. It's going to be Luco and his friends still really banking on that A side as well. And there is some utility. 2 nades actually on the side of ESUBA could deal some damage. And look at this gamble rotate. Trying to stack up on towards the B side as there wasn't anything going on towards A. But well, in the back line there is a player from Fate now moving up. And it seems like we do see Neo standing close by Marno. Hopefully clearing this back line and eventually trying to flank out the ESUBA members. There is no reason to really go aggressive at this time of day. Because, of course, you have the flanker. He will get 1, maybe 2, maybe even a knife, RJ.
Oh!
As Neo is now trying to creep up the ladder. There will be some flashes trying to contest from the Fate side of things. Still 2 nades to come in. It's going to be Mar, the first frag. He will now be naded into Oblivion. USP to come in as well. It's actually already 2 frags in favor of ESUBA. Another player now in the flank is going to be Harn in harm's way. As it's going to be that 3-on-2 situation. He was a little bit caught in the open. And Blocker is moving up to block the dreams and damage to come in on towards his teammates. Alive will get another kill. Or at least, no, he won't. He will die to Harn as well. A 3-0 for Fate. Still having those 2 Mac-10s, and, well, they'll have to face a real buy round this time. I'm a little bit scared for the side of Fate right now, because if they'll still be running with those Mac-10s, and there will be head armor on the side of ESUBA, it's going to be a world of trouble for them.
Absolutely, but we'll have to see if they actually get that head armor on them, though. Normally they should have a decent buy now, but there's barely any head armor to go off. You've only got it on Levy, I believe that is, and nobody else.
Well, we do see Bloggers with that AWP, of course, a very instrumental weapon on the CT side here on Train. So many long angles you can take, just re-peek into another quite linear angle as well. And I'm curious to see if it will work for him. 2 Mac-10s to come out from the side of Fate, still of course trying to play that bonus round. And looking at the state of the head armor on the side of ESUBA, it could work out really well. Only 1 player to have it on him, a Gaffar helmet on towards Levi. And well, he's standing on the B side all by his lonesome. No, really, there is a player actually at backline. That's an interesting play to have it down that early on, but there will be the push as well from Fate once more towards the B side. Nicky's moving up with the Mac-10, will get a kill, even on the player with that head armor. A molly will come through, the Mac-10 will be upgraded to the AUG. There's still a 4-on-4. Bloggies is moving up with the AWP. Will not be expected here, you'd assume. So he's moving up, spots the player. No, he does not spot the player on the side. It's going to be Nicky with another frag. Live will get 1. He will be traded out by Neo as well. So 2-on-2, and look at this crosshair, it's juicy, as there has been damage dealt towards the side of Fate. Even more damage being dealt, another trade to come in. It's Patrick against Luco, and Luco's trying to move up, but Patrick, of course, dancing around this great train. Time is running out, Luco will have to stick it soon, and even when he's not sticking it, he will fall as well, 4-0 in favor of that T side. And well, this is what happens when you fight your scrim partners who happen to be just a little bit better.
Just a tad, yeah, by the looks of things. You can have that preparation coming in, of course. You could have Fate that just really knew what to expect here and that really played, well, according to their expectations. But right now, I'd say that this is looking pretty favorable for Fate and that it is going to be them that take the upper hand.
Well, so far it seems like Fate is doing really well. And let's see if they can actually try to exploit more grounds on towards this eco. on the side of ESUBA. Nate does come down, deals moderate damage on towards Mar, and Bloody is once more standing by with the CC. Might actually be a little bit of a fear factor against his opponents because he's got some great frags so far already.
Let's see though, who knows Fate? I'm gonna say that they should be able to keep this round up. They have a way better equipment loadout. They've got better economy that's starting to build out a little bit now. And you've got ESUBA who just have mediocre weaponry, although clearly that seems to work for them just fine as Bloggers gets the frag there with the CZ. However, he does end up getting refragged. Lovely deagle shots there by Levi, who do get the, well, who does get the frag at the end. Makes it a 4v3 situation now. However, Mar here could maybe, just maybe, depending on how he's going to approach this surprise. Actually, no, he falls back from main and he won't be running into E-Live anytime soon.
No, we do see just a little bit of a slowdown coming down from Fate. Now down one player. But at least they'll still be in a very, very comfortable position, knowing that they're 4-0 up. And, well, possibly if they do lose this round, they still have a little bit of money to work with. Alive standing close by, he will try to go for the anti-flash, but this will be harmed with the first frag. A follow-up as well. It's going to be Neo to fall. There's still some damage being dealt towards the side of Fate. However, it's going to be Levi, of course, being very low. Luko now going down, and that should be the round done and dusted. And indeed, it's going to be a great play from Fate to come back with a player deficit, of course, against Nico. So losing this many players, still a little bit of a shame, but it's also due to them playing relatively solo on some regards.
Well, I've just solidified my choice, and let's hope, you know, knock on wood, that I don't curse the whole, the whole match now. I've just put in on Fate getting a 2-0 scoreline now.
Ooh,
yes.
Juicy. I was doubting it. I'm thinking.
Oh, come on.
I'm not gonna risk it. I think they're still. Like, ESUBA is still that oddball. They can still, on Vertigo, maybe surprise us. So, well...
I'm betting up. I'm going for that 2-0. I believe in it. I think Fate can definitely just keep the upper hand here, keep the pressure on ESUBA, and rather quickly even, potentially just knock them down.
Well, let's see what this, at least tactical break, will bring in for most likely ESUBA. Having the funds to buy once more. And let's see if they can finally get that round in. They need to start somewhere. Preferably
Absolutely.
somewhere around now or just a few rounds back. And then start to get winning and close the gap towards Fate, who are by far, we dare to say, a superior team. Number 49 in the HLTV World Ranking. The best in this group. And against a, well, relatively unknown team in the form of ESUBA, they should be able to win. But ESUBA could still, of course, surprise us. Maybe not on this map, because, of course, this is one of the better maps on the side of Fate. But maybe on Vertigo, maybe even on Overpass as well. It would be great to see this underdog story unfold.
Let's see now what it gets or what makes out of it. It is Fate who so far are playing it relatively slow. There is a lot of utility being thrown out now, though. Oh, is this going to be a push? Yep, and it does sort of work out. Blocker gets the refrag. And if, along with that mains push, they can now get onto the site, it was quite a successful tactic. Nicky looking around. He should have seen some feet there, but in the end, nope. It is a frag from Levy taking him out. 2v2 down now. And, well, this could go in any direction, but most importantly, Fate has not found the plant yet. They are still waiting to get onto the site, and the resistance from Levy might be real here in any moment.
It's going to be Levi just standing by. Old bomb train being covered off by Luko at the moment in time, waiting for a plant sound to be made. But look at the cover. Harin's not really helping Blocker at this moment. Just still waiting around possibly that green train. This is going to be the plant indeed coming down. Some shots to be fired at the feet of the planter. Blocker still surviving, eventually going down to Luko. Now we have a 1v2. Harn still on these trains, trying to go for a more aggressive angle. Will spot the first player, will get a great shot all towards Luko. Looking for a next one, he spots the player, he gets the clutch as well. A 1v2. The Fate once more just shows how it's done. And it seems like just the individual skill is way too much for the tactics brought by ESUBA.
And I suppose that ESUBA so far are still a little bit on the, well, I would almost say the struggle bus, but it seems to be more the struggle train. maybe, just maybe, there's a chance if they do eventually get back now, if they get a somewhat decent buy. Obviously, that's not going to be this round, but maybe in some of the next, that this will look more positive for them, that this will be a somewhat chance for a comeback. But I don't see it happening just yet. Oh, Blocker might be caught with his pants down, has the utility in hand, and Bloggers and Levi push well on that.
They have bomb as well.
Yep, that's a good frag on them, and now they should be able to actually keep that bomb control. Played out patiently, don't give Fate a chance to recover it.
It's going to be a good round so far, even on an eco for the side of ESUBA. Great nade, and the back 10 will come in, but it's going to be Levi taking another kill on towards Fate. And this could and should be the first round to come in from the ESUBA side. Not sure if Fate will actually try to contest it, as well, Harn and his mate Mar are actually at Ivy. And the Alive is actually moving up closer towards, of course, a more aggressive position as well. Utility being picked up by the players that fell at the start, of course, now also being used to slow it down. And seems like ESUBA is now finally finding a round, finding a groove, and possibly finding way more than just that.
It could be the start of something great. We shouldn't lose hope in ESUBA. Maybe they just need to, have a little time to get warmed up, to get into the swing of things, and with that now, they might just get their own little streak started, start to bridge the gap between them and Fate right now, and actually work to get those rounds back, get it towards an equalizer, and from there on out, work and actually, make sure that they can actually end up this CT side with a somewhat decent advantage.
Harn actually trying to spot out if there would be a player peeking, and on top of that garbage, there will be one. It's the Alive trying to go for a cheeky peek, but he knows he can't really peek against an AWP. At least will keep his deagle and flashbang for the time being. And the first round now going to ESUBA. Curious to see if ESUBA will be able to string more. Winning an eco, getting some weapons, of course, is always great for your economy. And Fate is now trying to hold on, of course, buying into it, saving those 2 weapons. And there you see their reserves really going down from the get-go. And then that also means that if ESUBA will win this round, there might actually be a third to follow suit. As well, there is a deagle on Nicky, and the rest of his team will have some utility, will go for a little bit of a quick peek towards a utility-wise, but player-wise, they're possibly going for a split later on.
Now some shots being put down by Neo, but nothing really connects. Levy falls back onto the site a little bit. It's a somewhat patient game for now. ESUBA holding their angles, being of course on the CT side, and letting Fate make the moves, letting them push ahead. And with this smoke, it could be looking to be a potential A site, but E-Alive does hold things off there. Blogger's now rotating. E-Alive continuing his hold, making sure that no one's going to get through Pop Dog if it comes up to him.
Going to be Mars standing by. At least they have some backline control on the side of Fate. The problem is they don't have the bump in their hands at this moment in time. This Bloggers is holding off the angle. Nicky will fall, and Harn, hoping to get something in return. The problem is there is an AK on the side of Luco, just racking up more and more kills. And now it's a 1v5. He's just a little bit scared that he might be pushed in the back, and it seems like he might actually go for yet another save. And we'll see what's going to happen. ESUBA now with a second round. A very good chance, of course, for a third to go straight after, as they're now finding momentum, destroying the economy of their opponents. And throwing away his AK. Of course, picking up another one and granting his previous weapon to most likely Neo, who's still on that M4, now probably going to swap over soon.
Yep, the cast curse might just actually be real. I shouldn't have said it. I shouldn't have called, I shouldn't have called the 2 hours. I'm going to regret it now.
Oh
dear.
We'll never know. It's Harn just standing by, still looking at Ivy. Nobody from ESUBA really trying to contest. Of course, they know it's important not to give away too much of their economy. They're now saving up. The CT side is expensive. They will at least have some big reserves going on forward in towards this half. Luco, however, just a little bit less, as he has $1,450. That's not too much, but at least it's something to work with later on.
Well, you have to make do, you have to make something out of it. As long as they have their weapons and their utility and armor, then that's all their hearts could desire. Although, yeah, no, even defuse kits are fully present except for on Neo, so that's really not the end of the world. ESUBA with that have the 2 rounds that they could now possibly extend further, depending on how things run for them.
Leffy just doing a very quick peek and then eventually falls back straight after, putting down some pressure, at least mentally, on towards Fate. We're now once more on an eco. Problem is, Hard has saved his AWP. Of course, that means you still have the weapon, but if he would die here, that means he doesn't have a buy for the next round. It's going to be Fate banking on the AWP to get the opening kill. If he dies, there's a few players standing by to pick up his weapon, and they're swarming around him like puppies around the mother dog.
Wow. Yeah, understandably though. You want that AWP in your hands, you know. But we'll see. Maybe if they play it out well, that AWP will be staying in Han's hands.
Oh, they smoke and they try to force a player to jump on there and possibly get the opening frag, but the rotator will actually go towards backline, back towards the A side, thinking it might be a fake. Well, so far it doesn't seem to be like a fake. It's just a little bit of a slowdown, as we do see Leffy standing close by. The AK will soon peek in. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, but no kill. It's going to be hard. But the first one sees the hopper from the other side, but there's also a rifler close by on towards the side. Neo getting a great spray down. He will get a fair few kills, 3 in total. And only Harn alive in a 1v4. This time they will most certainly hunt it, because that AWP needs to be gone, as he of course doesn't have any money to work with then. Of course he will still get one more kill as Neo moves in, but the Leaf is now standing by, waiting and hoping to get a kill, or at least have some good timing. Flashbang comes by, that would indicate a peek to come in. Time has now actually run out as well. And Hard, no loss bonus, no money, 200 in his pockets. That's all he has to work with. Or 400, excuse me, of course, 2 exit frags coming in. That's going to be 6-3. ESUBA doing really well, and there might be a buy from Fate. But, well, there's still one player on the Glock who can do absolutely nothing.
It's really the, well, classic tactic here. ESUBA, the moment that they've now found they can keep Fate's economy low, that seems to be the trick that they need to do, the trick that they need to employ. And their holds on the sites have also suddenly gotten a lot more convincing, allowing them to really do a solid job and keep them from advancing, keep those rounds coming. Second, well, only a double kill it ends up being. However, Vloggers comes in clutch. Can frag Blocker there in the meantime. Although the plank goes down, ESUBA is facing a 4v2. This is doable. This is manageable even. Nice bit of nade damage of stun to start it off. Patrick Tag, he's going to use some of the utility he has left himself. Important to highlight the molly that's still in his hands. Could be used well later on.
Nicky also has one, but he's actually going for the flank. Sees 1, sees 2. Will try to play it out to perfection. Actually misses the first shot. Will at least get 1 kill. Will get another as well. There will be the defuse coming in. The spray goes on towards the diffuser, and the round pretty much one and done for Fate right here. As ESUBA did not account for that lost player. They expected him to be in B upper. As Nicky might actually go down. Indeed, both players actually go down towards the bomb. But at least it's yet another round won by Fate. The problem is, all of them dying on a mediocre economy means they have a mediocre buy as well going in towards the next round. But this is just too sloppy. Nicky eventually now being spotted. Then there should be a ramp call. Gets another one. And then the rest of the players, of course, trying to go for the defuse, but they never actually forced an angle against Patrick. And you don't know what the utility is like. Nicky still had a Molotov as well.
Maybe though, I don't know. I find it difficult for Fate though, because at this rate, whilst they are getting their wins, it's so costly every time. With this, it's not necessarily a guarantee. They're going to have to really play it out well, and they're going to have to do their best, make do with all the weaponry and maybe that slight lack of utility that they have. And ESUBA, they might just get a chance to exploit that. Might just get a chance to surprise Fate and maybe do snoop another round or 2 off them.
Well, the tactical pause has been used, most likely by ESUBA once more. At least talking about what happened there. Why wasn't someone holding the flank? Why didn't they know there was still a player unaccounted for? Why did a player get 2 kills whilst being peeked by 1 player already? And of course, why wasn't Patrick contested earlier on? We do see a buy come in. It is a FAMAS, an AWP, and of course a few M4s. A lot of utility to come in from ESUBA as well, and just to see if they can actually make it work as well. It's going to be Leffy standing by on the B side, the solo anchor. The rest of his team will be towards A, and it will be a very good position as it seems like Fate might actually go for a split with 2 players coming down from Ivy later on.
Maybe, oh, nice little run boost hit, but it doesn't end up having a result. I believe Han did see someone from Fate peeking in there for a moment. Smoke now denies it. Scout isn't going to really connect anywhere. And now it's going to be a waiting game again. There's not too much happening so far. Fate hasn't really gone onto a site yet or gone for a sort of execute. Some more utility being thrown out now, though. There's a solid chance that they're going to try for the A-bomb site soon enough.
Yeah, split would maybe work in their favor, but the utility is dwindling down. Of course, they also have 2 Galils to flank the scout and those 2 AKs to come in. Mars-like, the smoke is a little bit annoying, but when our smoke will dissipate, we'll actually possibly have an angle to a player trying to push, and he might not be expecting that Bluggy standing by with AWP in hand, trying to shoulder peek, maybe going for a little bit of a cheeky fight as Patrick now wins the first one. He'll, however, be traded out by Nio as we do see Mar moving up. He gets another one on towards Luco, and the player on towards the blue train will be challenged by Blocker. From all of the player will come a team nade, of course, on to him as they were trying to clear out the last player. Blocker with another, and eventually Harm with the scout takes down Bluggies as well as the AWP down and, of course, recovered, meaning we have an 8th round for Fate, and they're, well, clawing their way back in towards this half.
Yep, and they will now definitely end the first half with an advantage. That is going to definitely favor them. And for ESUBA, they keep struggling now around that 3-round mark. 5 rounds that they are behind. And Fate, who really have to just, well, try their hardest now to secure their lead, to push it further, and to actually maybe end out this first half with a solid start. And then rather swiftly make it a potential, well, quick map win. It starts off well again. Mar gets a double kill, although in the meantime, you do have 2 frags on the ESUBA side. That equalizes it out, and that makes it a 3v3.
Ooh,
never mind.
We'll have that flank in, but the problem is he just lost 2 of his teammates, makes a little bit of noise on towards the ladder as well. That's another clear-cut victory for Fate, now being in a 9-3 scoreline. Having to face yet another bye from ESUBA, but almost at double digits. And there's still a fair few rounds to be played. And I'm a little bit scared for ESUBA right now. We said from the get-go, they are less likely to win.
Absolutely.
And it's starting to look more and more like it, but the 3 rounds they string together look very promising. They really put pressure on towards Fate. They've really made rounds close as well, so it could have been that Fate had way less of a lead at this moment in time.
And who knows, maybe it is going to become a slightly bigger, well, slightly smaller lead. It all comes down to how these frags go, but Patrick starts it off incredibly well. Double kill for him now. That molly is going to land well too. He doesn't end up getting the 3rd, and now it is a combination Levy along with Luco, who can get the frag. Don't really finish it off just yet.
There's still an incendiary to be thrown out towards Nicky, so he will have to move. Bluggies is moving up. Possibly get a kill on the player in all hell. Of course, he's been tagged up, but oh my god, Bluggies can't hit a shot, or at least he can, and bring Nicky to 1 HP. 1 HP and a dream in a 1v1. Will Levy actually try to stick the bomb once more because time is running out? He'll now eventually stick it. Pros don't fake Nicky. He's actually going to go in, but that is too late. ESUBA with the Ninja Defuse. I believe that's already the 3rd Ninja Defuse we've seen today. And ESUBA now will win a round. Fate a little bit on the back foot now, but at least with the bomb plant, they can buy quite comfortably. And, well, yet another round, of course, is almost lost round of the first half. Will be still a very big measuring of the forces of these 2 teams.
Yes, and who knows, right? ESUBA could be a little bit, or could overwhelm them a little bit now and try to end this first half with 6 rounds. That is not the best start, of course, to the map train, but it is a solid chance, you know. There's opportunities there. It's not the end of the world. They can work with that. But we'll have to see if they actually pull that off. Right now, things are looking equal equipment-wise, save for eLive and Neo, who kind of have somewhat worse weapons.
Yeah, of course, the winner of this match will still have to face Secret in a best of 3, as we now see a lot of pressure towards a main. Blocker will go down. Of course, you can wallbang that, but it just takes a ton of bullets, as that incendiary instantly traded out by one of his teammates' smokes. A little bit of a waste, or well, more than a little bit. Yes, of course. A incendiary just costs you a lot of money. Mar now moving up with the AK through the smoke, going towards backline. Luko is standing by, will not get that kill. Sees something going in favor of ESUBA for a little moment, just to be traded out by Fate real quickly.
Now there's going to be a main. Well, I'd almost call it a main fake, seeing as the utility or flashes are thrown, but they fall back and they don't know just yet that E-Life is there unless they are basing it off the assumption that, you know, where their previous teammate died, he's still going to be around.
It's going to be Nicky standing by with the AK, holding the angle, just prepping to also throw his utility. Will be the AXQ to come in from Fate. Mar with the opening frag on towards the Leave, and that is also the aim-mate pressure relieved for the side of Fate. Moving in as a unit, still standing by as a flank will come in soon. Will it be soon enough? It's going to be Leffy with the first frag on towards Mar. There's at least something going for him. Blockage will go down eventually. That took way too long, but in main, there's now a player. Neo moving in, but be waited upon by the AWP of Harn. Flashing in towards Leffy, who's still playing in this heaven area, being spotted out time and time again, trying to pre-fire. Look at that, only one more bullet in his magazine. Going for yet another clutch. Good wallbang dink, I believe, all towards Harn, but it's not enough as he now goes for a chase, and, well, he loses it out this time. 10 rounds for Fate, double digits, and still one more round to be played in this first half.
I do believe for a moment there that I think he tried to jump and then use the shots from the M4 to mask the sound of him landing.
But the problem is he's still sprayed after, so you can hear the sound getting closer and closer.
Exactly. So that's a bit of a shame, a valiant effort, but sadly it wasn't good enough. And with that now, Fate has achieved those double digits. Question being, on the end of this first half, is it going to become 11 or is it going to stay at 10? Is it going to be ESUBA that do get one more round? With the bye, I'd say maybe not. I do want to highlight I believe that's a Swag 7, isn't it? Oh, yes, it is.
Yeah, baby. We've seen one before in an eco win from ESUBA. This time around, they're also trying to run it with a force by MP9s in hand and a scout on towards Bloggis. Of course, this could still be doable if they do play those close angles, but at the moment, they have to face one of those Fate members on a slightly longer engagement. They will most likely be on that losing end. Leffy standing by, hoping that a player will chime in without a flashbang, because of course that would be detrimental.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, Neo here. That's a nasty position to get caught in. Blocker gets the frag on him. Mar, along with his teammate now, Nicky, trying to make some sort of opening, trying to get some damage in via main.
Oh, Swag 7 kill from Leffy on towards Patrick. That's the AK retrieved. Luckily for the side of Fate, no bomb to be gained. Leffy with a follow-up as well on towards Harn. There was a player, I believe, in Popdog, and indeed there's still one close. It's going to be Blocker with the first frag on towards the Leave, but he now has to relieve the pressure from that flank in Popdog. The problem is 2 more kills do come in. Sticky in a 1v3, and he will fall as well. 10-5, still a very good half from Fate, as ESUBA will close the gap just a little bit more.
That was relatively well played towards the end from ESUBA. A highlight there to Levy's rather aggressive move with the
Look at his score as well.
Yeah, he plays it out well. You know, that rather aggressive move with the Mag 7 ended up working well for him, got him to recover an AK, and in the end, even got a whopping 3 kills, I believe, in that last round. So with that now, we are going to go into the second half where, well, Fate still has a considerable advantage. However, the question, you know, remains to be asked. Is it going to increase, or is it going to be ESUBA that come back now once they are on the CT side, or once they are on the T side? Will that go a little bit smoother for them?
Well, we do see the side of ESUBA now going for those USP, or actually those Gauss of Force going for the train, hoping to get on close range, and then you would assume possibly a little bit of a B play to come in. But at this setup, it's currently seeming like possibly an A play as well. Splitting the side in 2, one player already down in Popdog, which of course could help them out to have a very good angle. Neo taking down Nicky with a swift one tap. Pre-fire of the century.
Yeah, that was a dirty, dirty shot, but it was on point and it was a deserved frag there. So that's one man less on the Fate side of things, and perhaps a very good start for ESUBA once they have to try and get on top of a site here.
Well, they're trying to get back some map control. At least Ivy will now be open. Patrick is going for a flank, but where will the push go for the side of ESUBA? It will be that A-split that we talked about earlier. They start playing no love, no, there's not really anything on towards the side to cancel out a plan. There will be a push close by, of course. Blockers will get the first frag with a clock on close range. Refrag coming in from Blocker. The plant has now gone down, 4-on-3 situation. Patrick slowly but steadily coming in towards A main. And will he be able to find a player? There's one at the red train. First kill here for Harn, looking for more. The problem is he's already lost Blocker. He'll lose his life as well as now Patrick comes in. A 1v2, two players at the wrong side of things. That means it's now going to be 10-6 and ESUBA will win that second pistol. Getting at least a little bit closer and splitting the pistol distribution in half.
Yeah, off to a good start for them. So let's see if they can carry this good start ahead to the rest of this second half. Who knows if they can keep that up, if they can actually now sort of bring this on and surprise Fate and keep them on the down low, then there's a solid chance that they might be working towards an equalizer.
Well, we do see 3 Mech-10s coming in from the side of ESUBA trying to make some cash against this, well, almost fully head armorless team of Fate. Well, utility flies towards the A side, players also being spotted in towards A main as Patrick is a little bit panicky. There is no player from Ivy, however, so he doesn't really need to worry all that much as now the execute will come in. So many smokes to move around with those Mech-10s towards close range. Going to be Mark going low, Blocker also falling quite quickly. There's already 1,200 euros in the pockets of the side of ESUBA. Patrick standing by with his scout will go down as well, as it's going to be Bloggis just getting another frag. Scout to be picked up. Will it be a save? I would recommend to be it so, because, well, you know those Mech-10s. He will just give them more and more money, and hoping for an exit frag is sometimes better than just giving your own life.
Exactly, you know, that $600 a pop from the SMG is not exactly the type of money that you want to line your enemies their pockets with. So with that, it also seems like the sensible option is being chosen. We've got the last two players of Fate holding off nicely, cleanly, waiting a little bit. One in CT, the other back on the bomb site.
And one thing I do really like from the side of ESUBA, that at the start of a half, when they do start to string rounds together, they're really focusing on gaining some financial momentum. And thus not really chasing all that much. They know there will be 2 players, most likely with scouts or at least pistol armor. And then you're saying, well, they can have that. We will have our weapons. We know they will be on an eco next. So there's no real reason to go extra wild. There will be 2 weapons and possibly 1 pistol to go up against. And if you're just going to play it slow, let them make the mistakes. It should be a easily gettable round for ESUBA. And then there would be actually a very good chance that if they win against the first buy round of Fate, we could see an equalizer to come in as well.
Who knows? That would mean that they really keep it all the way pressed down, and that means also that there's a good chance for ESUBA to maybe actually turn Train around. You know, Train, of course, Fate's map pick, and their map's supposed to be. So they really do have to show up here. They have to prove that, you know, they can take the upper hand, that they can actually beat ESUBA. They should be able to, at least. You know, Fate, of course, as we've said before, statistically, the better team. You know, there's a lot of factors that go in their favor. Also have played quite a lot more maps, you know, purely based off HLTV statistics compared to Team ESUBA. But who knows, of course. Maybe Team ESUBA has practiced massive amounts just off the record.
Well, there is a slightly longer pause than normal, so I would expect it to be a technical mistake on either of these sides. Maybe someone has to yell to their mom and dad that the internet is now for gaming time and not for Netflix, as we're still biding our time. ESUBA seemingly strong. Should be winning this round, 10-8.
Definitely. 1
more round win will at least bring Fate then also towards an eco. Then they will have a 10-10. And then I think a lot of people that are rooting for Fate will be starting to worry. Of course, the ratings, or at least the odds as well, still greatly favoring Fate because of their experience. Number 49 in the world. They're a really good team. But are they good enough to face against a slightly less known ESUBA, who are already being relatively strong, already surprising us, trying to expand on towards that Team Queso dream story we've seen before from, of course, in the previous Group A. And in Group B, we also need a Cinderella. I think ESUBA is our beautiful, beautiful Cinderella.
Oh, who knows? Perhaps I do like that analogy, a Cinderella story, you know. And I do think that ESUBA probably has a solid chance of becoming that team. Also, if you compare them to the other three in the running, then they are the underdog, the the voted least likely to win the competition, etc. All those kinds of things. So with that, it's tough to see where this is going to go. Even if they might win get the round here, I'm still questioning. You know, I'm still unsure what's it going to be. What are they actually going to do? Are they actually going to pull this off?
Well, there is a Zeus on towards block, but the rest of his team is already melted down by those Mach 10s to come in. Har now close by with his scout to try to get someone at the close or old bomb train, but problem is Blocker now also going down. No more style points for Fate. And,
oh wow!
Well, there is one kill. There's a second as well from Harn. A little bit damage done, but still another round for ESUBA. And I think Fate will be happy with 2 kills, but they hope to get more. 2 scouts, 1 Zeus, and of course a Deagle. That should have netted them at least 3 kills, put some pressure on towards ESUBA's economy management. But this kill, let's be honest, it shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, quite right, quite right.
The second one as well was a little bit of a stretch. Now we do see the full buy coming in from Fate. AWP on towards Harn, their first full buy here on their CT side. Looking to regain some of what their lead once entailed. Good tag already coming in on towards Block is most likely a lag shot or a wall bang around at a main area. And we will see a great cover of blood right there as Levy is looking towards B, but no real aggression coming out as, well, normally on this B side you shouldn't do. Little Peak will be set soon, and well, eventually if you see a player, you fall back. Maybe use some utility as Marna gets the first kill towards Bloggis. And I'm not sure, but it might have actually been a wall bang at the top of ladder as well. Of course, it is quite easily wall bangable, and Bloggis was already low, so just a few shots would do the trick.
Those wall bangs are always incredibly satisfying, you know. Always just nice when you can kind of
You're
spray
a little
through.
bit surprised as well if you hit them.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you just suddenly see like, oh wait, what? I got a kill? Huh? What's that? Oh, okay. You're just like positively surprised, and it's a happy little thing to happen. What might also be quite happy is how Fate is really doing a much better job of holding off the site this time round. You can see the engagement's happening, but suddenly it's only eLive who's left alive. And now he has to fall back, and he can pretty much throw in the towel for this round.
And it's a sad moment for ESUBA, hoping to once more reset the economy of their opponents, but Fate is now starting off strong on their first buy round on the CT side. Big plus for them if they don't go chasing all too deeply, because of course they need these weapons. And of course they're going to be going in towards the next round. But then we see Nicky fall. Of course I was expected if a push like that comes in, and well, quite simply the Leaf looks at the right direction. He still has the bomb, he has no more time left. So do still see another player go through that brown hole area, yet it will not result into another fight. And we do see that 11-8 scoreline. Fate extending their lead, looking to get close and closer to that map point.
Closer and closer every time. They, at this point, need 4 more rounds for the map point and 5 more for the match point. Or, well, for the match win, even for the map win, even. Wow. Ooh. We got there in the end. Seriously, though, ESUBA really have to make it through in this next round. And once this kind of goes wrong, then it is very painful, but it might also be the end of them. They will not have enough money, I believe, to actually buy through. So, for both teams, this is a critical round, and it starts off well. Patrick gets the frag on Levy, starts for a second one, gets Neo as well. Now it comes down to Han. He's looking towards main, whilst Luco here is faffing about around Ivy. No damage on him just yet, but damage could happen at any moment whatsoever, at any point in time.
Well, ESUBA is struggling right now on these buy rounds of Fate. AK is moving in, of course. The AWP is still on Bloggis. Could actually get an easy frag in if he just gets a player in towards his scope. But Patrick standing by a little bit of an off angle. Just so far back as we do see him just waiting. Utility coming in from the ESUBA side. First kill on towards the Elite. Moves back towards backline. Goes for another peek soon. Luku is moving up and will be blindsided as well. It's going to be Bloggis, the sole member alive, to be taken down by Nicky. Double up, question mark to the rest of his team, and they say, nah, 1 is enough. We've got Harn, and he's already beautiful. He's already got 23 kills in 20 rounds, so his KPR, not really too shabby.
Exactly, you know, don't need much more than that. Now, Fate, of course, do increase their advantage. 4 rounds ahead of ESUBA now. And also getting better and better by the second, it seems. But we'll see, can they maintain this against ESUBA's, well, pistol upgrade, I guess is the best way to call this. You've got a bit of armor on Luco, on Neo, and a little teensy tiny bit of utility.
See Mar moving up with that AK, looking for a possible frag, but a real push will come from that Ivy area. Patrick with the first one. Longer angle this time with Nicky's also standing by. He will get one of his own. Going to be ESUBA falling relatively fast, but at least dealing some damage. 2 players low and both players falling. Fate on towards the 13th round. And now they're a little bit scary, getting closer and closer to a possible map point. And I'm thinking that ESUBA, of course, now buying again, are slowly losing their fighting spirits.
Yes, I believe that Fate has a solid chance now to end out this first map rather swiftly. I think that ESUBA now, they can really not do that much anymore. They've got the worst economy, and once again, this is another one of those critical rounds, you know. You've got ESUBA here with the completely depleted reserves, whereas Fate is starting to build them up again. If this round goes wrong, it's 14, and the one after that will most likely also not go that swimmingly, and that makes it map point for Fate, which is terribly, terribly dangerous.
A little bit of damage on towards Blocker, of course, always a risk when you're holding that shoulder peak angle. Neo now dropping in towards Popdog, and I don't think Mars actually heard him drop. Now there will be a shot coming out from Neo. He will get the frag as Mar overcommits on the spray, which he shouldn't have. Should just fall him back and use some utility to possibly have a fight another day. And now we have that 5-4 ESUBA in a player lead, but still Harn on that AWP will be dangerous and should be a force to be reckoned with as ESUBA is slowly setting up for an A-take. Utility in their hands, the bomb set and ready to go there. As now the utility will fly, pressure towards, of course, Connector, but on the rotate might be a little bit too soon. Luco gets 2 as it will be Harn moving up, losing his friend Patrick, and now a 2-on-3 situation. 1 kill with at least equalize the score. That's 1. That's almost 2, but Blockers is just a little bit quicker. And Blocker now...
turns his back at the wrong time.
Yeah, there's 2 players. He has to do something, and he tried to go for the aggression on towards Blockers because he actually knew that the bomb was there. And the moment you actually clear that one out, there is a chance you can still bring it back. But now it was a round for ESUBA, 13-9. And of course, the Czech team is now doing really well when the pressure is on. Because, well, which student couldn't relate? The moment pressure is on, the deadline is getting closer.
That's when you suddenly...
Everything just goes way better.
Yep, you suddenly have that performance anxiety. I know a few people like that who just always decide, you know, oh, but I work way better with deadlines, and they just, they deliver everything, you know, the day before. Not very pleasant when you're having a group assignment or something of the sort, I can tell you that.
Oh, well, maybe they'll just have a more relaxed feeling. Some people just are more laid back as the Elite will get the first kill on towards Nicky. Mar with 1 in return. Still a 4-on-4. Still doable as the Elite is also quite hit, but as Mar now also falls, it's going to be Patrick having to get things done. At least a kill in return. Again, an A play to come in and Harn with the AWP. Once more racking up kills, and the AUG in heaven might be a little bit under pressure, but he'll drop down soon enough.
Yeah, that all coming in clutch for a moment almost, but not quite. It's Bloggis along with Levy, who are the last 2 standing. Levy is getting closer though, could get a frag, spots the player, and yes he does. Takes out Blocker, like that now it's a 2v2. But of course, Levy is a little bit low HP. Patrick might actually get a frag here, and yes he does.
But
bomb also down. Why was the bomb in A3? That's a very good question to ask. I don't have an answer to it.
Well, sometimes you just go to Ivy and you just get stuck. As, well, Poison Ivy isn't too great for you. A 1v1 as now a spray through the smoke will take down Harn. Patrick moving away as, of course, that incendiary will fly in. But with 30 seconds left, the pressure is on more and more towards Levi. Who will get this clutch? Both players, almost the same HP. Both players already on 2 kills. And Levy now trying to move around, but it was Patrick actually expecting him, but Levy with a very quick response will get the double digits for his team, 13-10. And it's actually all possible for ESUBA.
I believe that Fate is still, Fate is slowly but surely losing out their advantage now. I still do believe that they have a decent chance of winning the map here, but ESUBA is catching up to them, and that is dangerous. That is something to keep in mind. Also, look at the economy of Fate right now. Well, look at the equipment in their hands. Really not the best weaponry. Not a lot to work with, and those nades are going to have to come in clutch somewhere as well.
Nade stack baby, as Patrick is now moving up with his deagle towards this Ivy area. Hoping a player will not check the corner as they are moving up. Second molly will go in. He'll try to use that as a peak moment, but no, it's going to go wrong. And well, we do see a 5-on-4. Nicky standing by with the deagle as he's hoping to at least do a little bit better than his fallen teammate. Blocker meanwhile takes down Luco, goes for a second and will get it as well. That's some weapons that they will be able to recover. Unfortunately, both some Mac 10s. At least some utility. A nade in hand for him and Mar as well. 2 Mac 10s is at least better than 2 USPs, I dare to say. As the rotate will go towards that B-side. Nade would do wonders if you throw it at the ramp right now, but unfortunately they're too late. Still nades on towards the side, could kill a planter. And maybe they're banking on towards that as Fate is now throwing them in. It'll be hard with frag on towards Leffy, but he will fall straight after. Damage being dealt. Mac 10, of course, now being a little bit more strong. But there's still that AWP on towards Bogus, which on low range should be a little bit better. Mac 10 through the smoke. Mar is getting close, getting for a chance. And well, as Neo is going for the reload, he will actually still deal some damage. 8 bullets and eventually 0 for Mar. Neo will get the kill, will be traded out, but Bogus is now actually here in the upper B area. P250 in hand, expecting a little bit of a push coming out from Harn. He's now tapping the bomb, knows he has no time, has that AK, he will try to save that, or at least go for a kill if Blogus isn't too contesting. And he's going away, that AK at least a very good bounty for this round as well. They will lose it, but it's at least a little bit of return on investment for that nades that they have brought to the table.
ESUBA is showing that clearly when the pressure is high, you know, when the potential map point is near, that's when they clearly like to perform. That's when they really, you know, show their true colors, so to speak, and they really come in clutch. ESUBA really lessening and lessening the advantage that Fate has there by the round. Now it being whittled down to only a meager 2-round deficit. Quite a workable amount. Something that ESUBA should, with plenty of effort, be able to work out and slowly but surely get to an equalizer.
Blocker going aggressive with the AUG, will not spot a player right there behind the railing, but there will be one close. That's one frag. I believe a wallbang on towards Neo, who was also playing on top of that ladder position. And that will really hurt him and the rest of his team going forward in towards this round. Blocker now going up the ladder, trying to at least contest a little bit more, being spotted or at least assisted by Harn, so it might be a fake. The moment a player will peek and Harn will miss, he will drop down, but they won't be expecting another play, but it will be a push from the ramp area. Blocker going down, a relatively clean kill to come in from the side of ESUBA. Now moving on towards Oil as well. Hellleaf is now standing by as it will be Nicky with a frag on towards Blogus. The bomb dropped for the moment, will be planted, of course. It's a 4-on-3 situation, and Leaf will get one kill in return. Make it a double soon, maybe, but no. Nicky and the rest of his team will have a clean retake. And that will mean a 14th round for Fate, and the dream run for ESUBA. All those rounds they had in succession have now been stopped in their tracks, in their train tracks.
Nice, nice. Let's put an end to that train ride. Anyhow, Fate now 2 rounds away from potentially winning this map, whereas ESUBA are struggling. Although they can, of course, now buy, they do still have plenty of money for that. I thought, although by the looks of things, how it's looking, I might not be correct there. They will probably throw in some sort of buy, or they're just going to go for the pistol. Okay, it's just going to be the pistol upgrade.
One Eagle, one flashbang, and a dream. Of course, also a P250, but, well, what's a P250 compared to a Deagle?
Absolutely nothing, you know. The Deagle is the far more impressive weapon, so I'd say let's hope for some 1-Deags, right? Let's see if they can actually be thrown in, if ESUBA can prove itself. Looks like they are playing around, well, they might be interested in that main position. They only have that one flash, so they need to be ready to use it and to get the critical frags.
Well, they're setting up as if it is the most serious execute they've ever thrown in towards a round. Then the flashbang moves towards main. They're trying to move from there, but most players already standing by. Flashbang now to fall towards Mar, but he's not really phased. First frag to come in, make it a double. A little bit sloppy, but eventually it will work. Almost a triple. Will be Patrick also standing in for a few frags, meaning we will see Fate going to 15. Map point. But of course, this is their own map pick.
Absolutely has to be highlighted. And to be quite fair, ESUBA is putting on a valiant fight. They are doing a fine job, I think, by both of our opinions, and also, you know, somewhat against both of our expectations. I'll fully admit that I expected ESUBA to not hold it out this long. That, you know, they would have just gone for a relatively meager, you know, okay, 5-6 scoreline or so.
Well, we do see that double up coming down from the side of Fate as a little bit of a different investment than we usually see. As we just see Patrick waiting in pop dog, always a dedicated player, trying to play around it, hoping things go his way. The chance of you being naded out there or just being wall-banged are relatively high. But at least we do now see two players holding the B side quite actively. And the ESUBA team is currently being split in half by that volley of Patrick. And I'm not the greatest fan of using your utility like that instead of trying to hold off whatever push they might throw in towards you at pop dog. As the players are now seemingly chiming by, he will have no clue, but then they go back around. It's a little bit ring around the rosy without people actually knowing.
But we'll see. Maybe eventually they'll make a choice. They'll make the right choice, more importantly.
But like, what prompted this choice? That's like what's really curious to me. Okay,
I think uncertainty
we'll all
probably
walk towards to the B side, and they're like, we're not getting an entry frag because nobody's pushing. And then we'll go towards the A side and try to make you there. Utility will fly in soon as Patrick gets the first frag on towards Neo. Popdog being held. Mar now holding an angle as well, but they're using his own smoke to get in towards all Love and get a first kill on towards Nikki. Follow up on towards Patrick. They'll leave again really strong with the AK Leffy as well, getting one in return. It is now a 2-on-4. The bomb will be planted, and well, I wouldn't even be surprised if there would be a save from the last two weapons on the side of Fate, especially with this molly coming in as well.
It's the most sensible call to make, honestly. Don't take the risk. Just Fate still has, well, if you count off this round, then they still have 3 rounds to play with. 3 rounds to just win one and get the first map in the pocket. Still, though, you know, we never really know for sure. We've seen quite a bit of overtime already, and I, at this point, would be the least bit surprised if ESUBA just puts down a 4-round streak now and they close this out rather, well, cleanly and push it to overtime. But we'll have to see first.
Well, at least ESUBA once more in the money, getting 4 players in towards the next round. Bloggis has to at least remember to buy armor. It's happened before, but I believe there's just been 1,000 gone off his cash total, so he will have. And we will see what this
You hope
next...
he does.
Oh, well, I hope and I know, because I believe in Bloggis.
Wow.
Strong upper, strong player, big brain.
Big brain even. Well, you know, can't argue that. But let's see if that big brain can come to show and really prove that Fate does have the chance to win it out on this first map and make it a clean 2-0 scoreline.
A lot of utility being traded out, but Harn actually going aggressive in this IV area, getting the frag on towards Luco. A instrumental part of the ESUBA lineup. Leffy standing by, hoping to catch an aggressive player that might push, but Blocker was tempted. Didn't go for it. He's now fallen back. Mar now actually under pressure as the molly comes in. He's gone low. He's been mollied from the main area as well. He's really close by. Will they be expecting this? The Bloggers will take down Har. It's going to be that 4-on-4 situation. Both teams, one player very, very low. It's Neo and Mar, as now we will see Mar going down to a nade. Once more utility from the main area. Why is nobody contesting that from the side of Fate? As there will be more utility flying towards that A side from either party. And the Life will take another frag on towards Patrick. Again, being blindsided, just being pushed in. And Nikki will spot the player on towards the green train. Knows that he is on that ladder, waiting for the frag. Will get one, will go for a second if he can. Smoke towards the connector area. The shots are actually not connecting all that well. Just a teeny tiny tag. Luckily,
that was a nice
with the AWP will get one in return. That's a 2-on-2 situation. And the ball still has to go towards a side blocker with another. Only Neo alive in a 1v2. He has not got the bomb. I believe it's dropped outside of main.
Oh,
so he still has to move all the way back. But if you look at the minimap as well, there's one player already on the flank. Of course, that will be none other than a very wild in-running blocker.
Noise?
Because that AWP apparently close range got, and well, I should throw away my paper because this is a throw as well from Fate.
Oh, come on. That was so close.
There was no time as well. Like, he was just waiting there.
Just played
it's almost
time.
like he's saving.
I don't understand why they would not just. It is such a classic mistake as well. It's something that we've seen a couple of times, right? You could have just waited it out. You're on the CT side. You have the time advantage. You know, you're playing against the team that has to force that has to force themselves. The team that has to actually move ahead, that has to actually try things. But then they just don't. They just don't bother. They just think, oh, well, let's just run at him, you know. Oh, it doesn't matter that there's only 20 seconds left on the timer, you know. Let's just risk it anyway.
Yeah, like, I'm really, really flustered. It's almost like they said, well, our player currently in backline is so far away, he can't even hear if there is a plan going. And Blocker is saying, well, I'm expecting him to already be on site, and then I might be able to contest it. Not the case.
Nope.
Fate will be very frustrated about that one, and just look at the replay. So much noise, as you said, those elephant feet just stomping through main. And then a little bit of an awkward fight, 2 HP left on towards Neo, but at least it's a clutch, and I think ESUBA will be quite happy by, of course, this throw, and their round win.
And who knows, this is starting to get dangerously close. You can see Fate, they have bought, well, inventively, I think is the best way to put it. They have kept their funds to preserve them for the next round. Going to go up on those aggressive positions now. Mar waiting up close here from ramp until someone might push. Han as well, holding those headshot angles with the D-Eagle.
Well, we do see the MP9s moving up Fate on a little bit of a half buy-in towards this round. Some armor for some people, some pistols, of course, to come in as well. And so far, they're looking a little bit more aggressive. If they do push through brown holes, they could actually get a very good flank in. But of course, the push is already coming in towards that A side. Are now being smoked and flashed up, but will they know he's at electric? Could come in for the flank himself as Leafy is moving up. Will get a good tag on towards the player at side. Leafy will go further and further. Mar, the only player to actually get a kill, is Hard and Patrick already going down. It's going to be a 3-on-3 situation as Nicky gets one, and he's just moving through smokes. And Leafy's like, what the hell? What's that actually a player just running by again?
What's that noise?
Is that a really quick train, or is it something else? Meantime, the bomb is actually in the hands of Mar. He got a frag, but should be wary of Ivy, and he is not. I'm not sure why Nicky didn't go through Ivy, but went towards B. Oh, baby, what's going on?
This is all just... I think there are some really basic and messy mistakes being made that are now potentially...
They're just not communicating.
Yeah, it's like, well, you know, I did raise communication issues earlier, but that not on this side of the team. You know, I raised those communication issues on potentially ESUBA, but clearly they seem to be catching up well enough. Time is not on their side, and there was an attempt there by Nicky to play for the time, but he ends up not pulling it off. Right now, it is 14-15. ESUBA is one round away from pushing it to overtime, and well, I mean, we've seen quite a bit of overtime today already, so clearly, why not again, right? At the same time, it has to be highlighted, Fate have saved their money. They are able to have a respectable buy now, utility, armor, etc., defuse kits, anything that their hearts might desire. So maybe, just maybe, Fate could finish it off the first map here in one round, or they might just whiff it and throw it away again.
Well, at least they have that AWP going for them on towards Harm, but they really need to get an opening frag and try not to give Bloggers too much room to work with. The first nade will at least deal a decent amount of damage, as we do see a tag also to come down on towards Leffy. He has not got any support at this moment in time. Will go for a pre-fire. Good damage on towards Blocker. And he will have to fall back towards the side. All on Lonesome at the B side will now maybe prompt another player to go there, as Neo will be burned slightly. I think just a little bit of aftersun will fix that, no problem.
Just a tad, you know, we'll see. Oh, that is a good move there by Mar. Can frag Neo, who was actually shooting through Pop Dog. I Not sure if that was trying to go for a wallbang there. I believe so, but
I think he was trying to pre-fire a possible push, as of course that Molly had just disappeared. Now we do see Blocker on the AWP, a little bit of a swap around from Fate, as a nade comes in and will deal some significant damage on towards Blockers. And of course the Alive, as it is currently that 5-4. Flashbang as well. Time is ticking away. 40 seconds left. Now there has to be an execute coming in from ESUBA. One player in main. Mar is standing by. 3 players from Ivy. Patrick is holding off.
Mar might be the clutch player who can potentially win the entire round for Fate if he does get a critical frag. And it looks like Nicky in the meantime gets Levy. Push comes in now. Patrick is the hold. It's good. Double kill for him. Leaves only Bloggers left alive. And now he stands very little of a chance. The smoke is going down. Bloggers does get the frag on Patrick, but the time is ticking through as well. Bloggers is going to have to stick this. He's going to have to try and get the plant, but he is being, well, lambasted from all sorts of sides. And now he doesn't have the time anymore. The frag goes to Blocker, and in the end, Fate now gets the final round with a incredibly close but first map win. Deserved by them, but it has to be said once again, Fate here made some really basic mistakes that you don't expect from a team like them. We kind of hyped them up a little bit. We made it clear. ESUBA, they're a bit more unknown. They're a lesser, well, an even unranked team. We don't know a lot about them. Maniac didn't know a lot about them. We knew that they'd been playing together for 9 months, but that's about it. And clearly, they put up a pretty good fight up against Fate, but